What's up?
Hi, everyone. My name is Zoe. I just wanted to provide some information for the Bands Off Our Body march tomorrow morning in opposition of this Roe v. Wade decision. It starts at 10 a.m. We'll be marching. The address is 115 North Main. And if you just search Bands Off Our Bodies in the town, there's one in Austin as well. Please show up for us.
Awesome, great. If you are local to the area and you want to show your support, please consider that as an option. Yeah, I gotta say, you know, for someone that grew up the way that I did, I was always a pro-choice kid. I don't know what it was. It definitely wasn't the people around me, because they definitely didn't feel that way. But a woman's right to choose is definitely something that the ACA is on board with, and we are happy to point people that way. So good for that. And Johnny is getting some more people here, I think. Johnny,
sure, I know there's more people out here that want to talk, but one of our intrepid stander-uppers in talking to us mentioned to the fellow over there about where can we start to build community. Well, you can start building it right here and spin outward. Use this organization as a way to make connections with people. The fact is, religious communities have had thousands of years to develop those connections because they had to during the Middle Ages, or it was curtains. And so now we can construct those communities if we want to, as we choose, and we can structure them around not just secularism as atheism, but what about interest in science, interest in medicine, interest in human rights, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for chiming in on that, Johnny. Those are definitely all super important. There's more to this than just saying, Christianity's not true. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot more to being a part of a group like this. Awesome. Well, Johnny's going to be looking for some more people. And again, I just want to stress, thank you guys so much for joining us. We are at a new number in our donations, and Greg's going to tell me that number again. $1,500 is where we're at for the donations tonight. So again, all of that is going towards the Secular Student Alliance. I need to emphasize to you guys tonight, please donate tonight. If you've ever thought about donating, do it tonight. This organization is one that we want to support to make sure that we can have not only more shows like this, but also more organizations like this, making sure that they have the funds to do what they do here on campus. So thank you guys again for donating so far. You guys rock. And I believe we have somebody else from the audience that wants to talk. Hey, it's Jamal coming back again. What's up, Jamal?
Yep, I'm back again. I have two things I want to say.
Okay.
Going back to the thing about you mentioned in community and just the hard part of deconverting is that sense of isolation.
Yeah.
And it is interesting to see because, you know, even though this is an experience a lot of people have, they all don't deal with it the same. Like for me, for instance, the separation aspect wasn't really a big deal for me.
Yeah.
I have always, especially when I was younger, I've always sort of been the quiet kid in class, always sat by myself. So even when I did start to deconvert, it didn't really affect me because I was always alone, so that didn't really change. It is now, thankfully. I've got good friends, good family who support me. And tying into that, you know, because when we talk to people, you know, we need to use words. So the thing I wanted to ask is how important it is, you think, when having a conversation about these topics that we care about, you know, science, religion, philosophy, so on and so forth, that we make sure we mean what we say and we say what we mean, because sometimes when I'm having conversations with my friends about stuff like religion and ethics and whatnot, sometimes it feels like we're talking past each other because we're saying the same words, but those words don't mean the same thing to both of us.
Yes. So here's the thing about that. I think there is this idea that we have to be content experts on everything that we believe, and we have to go really in depth on everything that we hold. And I don't think that that's necessarily true. In fact, I think that the best way that we can communicate to other people about what we believe and why is going back to that methodology of why and explaining the framework at which we've come to our conclusions. I think that's more important than the conclusions themselves, right? So for example, when you're talking to somebody about climate change, okay, how many of you guys have ever tried to send somebody a study and just be like, oh, just look at the facts, they're right here, and then they just don't even read it? Never works, right? Like, I think everybody has at some point, right? People just really don't work that way. Again, it goes back to just, one being pride, but another thing being you have to understand like the framework by which you've come to those conclusions, right? The methodology is super, super important. So maybe explaining that, well, I have a trust in scientific institutions because of their track record, because of the results that they've shown. And I think that the scientific method is valuable because of X, Y, and Z. I think you're gonna get more out of that than just saying, oh, I think climate change is real because the people who don't believe it are stupid. Like that tends to kind of turn people off to that idea, right? You're gonna stereotype people and you're gonna put them in a box that they don't feel comfortable being. Nobody likes feeling comfortable, in that way. So, explaining personally what these beliefs mean to you and how you come to them, I think is the best thing you can do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And we have our next guest here tonight. Please welcome Cody from the SSA.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cody. I'm a psychology major here at UTSA, pre-med student as well, so hopefully future physician. I would probably consider myself a little bit of a baby Christian. A baby atheist, because I was Christian most of my life, and I've only been an atheist probably about a year and a half. And funny story, I actually volunteered to help Clara and Gavin, our president, do what they do as far as tabling and working with the organization and getting things started back up again before I ever met them, because I was just so excited to be part of a community that shared my beliefs.
You were about to say baby Christian, and I was like,
Yes.
God, they did not tell me about this. No, that would have been, it might have been a different conversation we would have had, but welcome to the table. So you're a member of the SSA. What's your favorite thing about being in the SSA?
I think the most important thing about being a member of SSA for me is, like many who have been up here before me have said, is the community. That feeling of aloneness is very, very real, especially when you're a group like Atheist, who your community is very, very small, because it's not something that is very well accepted in our society. So for me, just having other people who can understand where I'm coming from and just honestly reasonable sometimes, that is something that I kind of needed, especially coming out of Christianity after so long.
So let me ask you about that. Have you gotten any pushback for your journey from being a Christian to an atheist and being a secular student on campus?
Yes, so I think that a lot of my family has had sort of trouble accepting it. They think that I chose to be an atheist because it made my life easier not to have God. In reality, it's kind of strained like every relationship I've ever had my whole life with my family, and so that has been a major part of coming out as an atheist. I actually got outed by somebody that I had told.
Really?
Yes, so that was a little bit uncomfortable. I don't even think my grandparents know. It's really just my immediate family, my parents, my siblings, and things like that.
Now, were you ever worried about coming out as a Christian to your friends?
Never.
No.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Interesting. Well, I think that's true for all of us, right? Why do you think there's a stigma there?
Well, Christianity is the socially accepted cultural norm, obviously. Being anything that's considered deviant is automatically bad. Thinking outside the box, people don't like that. They like the status quo.
Yeah, that's true. So now that you're a part of the SSA and you've talked about some of the positive experiences there, what would you say for people who might be considering joining?
I think if you are somebody that is passionate about your beliefs and you're passionate about making the world a place that is more friendly, specifically for people like you and more accepting of people like you, joining the SSA is one of the best ways to do that, because just having somebody in people's lives that they know is an atheist changes how they view them. Because when they see you and they have to humanize you and they see you as just this regular person that they talk to and they get to know, that does something to them that makes them rethink everything that they've thought about you beforehand.
Absolutely. I think that's super, super true. Just being present. It's like, it's like when gay rights was becoming more of a mainstream thing.
Right.
One of the big things people cited was, oh, well, you know, I have a coworker that was gay and they were normal, and it was just like, oh, it's fine. Or the same thing with the trans community, right? Like, you know, if we just come out more and say who we are, and people realize, oh, we're just normal people, just like you, and then that has an effect on people for sure.